At 2:17 a.m., my parents demanded $15,000. I said no, and went back to sleep. They said my brother would suffer all night unless I paid. I hung up. My name is Logan. I'm 32, a structural engineer living alone in Denver. I'm not someone who scares easily. I inspect bridges. I sign off on structural loads. I'm trained to stay calm when things are heavy, literally and emotionally. But nothing prepared me for the role my family gave me growing up. Not daughter. Not sister. Backup plan. The family ATM. Because in my house, being the oldest didn't mean you were loved first. It meant you were used first. My parents are Steve and Nancy. Dad retired with a decent pension. Mom stayed home most of her life. My brother Tanner, 26, is the golden child. The only son. The future. My sister Skylar, 23, is the princess. Cute, social media obsessed, always deserving. And me? From the time I could understand words, the message was clear. You're the oldest. You handle it. That sentence sounds like responsibility. But in my family, it was a weapon. It meant I paid when my parents didn't want to. It meant I fixed what Tanner broke. It meant I swallowed my needs so Skylar could shine. And every time I tried to set a boundary, they punished me emotionally until I folded. At 22, I worked 3 jobs after graduating. While my friends were celebrating, I was wiring money. I paid for Tanner's tuition. He dropped out because college wasn't his vibe. My mom hugged him and said, "Boys will be boys." No repayment. No accountability. Then Skylar wanted a fresh start after high school. So I co-signed her car. A Jeep she posted online with captions about big sis energy, like it was cute content. I never saw a dime back. Then there were the emergencies. Credit cards maxed. Overdrafts. Phone bills. Random cash requests with guilt sprinkled on top like seasoning. You don't want us to struggle, do you? One night I opened a spreadsheet because I needed proof I wasn't imagining it. Over $120,000. And somehow, I was still treated like I wasn't doing enough. When I moved to Denver at 24, I thought distance would help. It didn't. The requests just changed format. Can you Zelle me? Can you Venmo it? Just this one time. Faster. Cleaner. Less conversation. And the worst part? They never asked how I was doing. They didn't care if I was stressed, lonely, exhausted, or drowning. They only cared if the money landed. I started waking up at night thinking, am I ever going to build a life? Or am I going to fund theirs forever? Then came Tahoe. It started like a flex and turned into a warning sign. Stories of a suite with lake views. Limos. High-end dinners. Private experiences. Skylar posting jewelry and designer pieces like it was normal. My parents said, "We only help Tanner a little." But I know my parents' finances. Their retirement isn't private yacht money. So if they weren't paying, who was? Then I saw something that made my stomach twist. Skylar posted a bracelet. Not cheap. The kind of price tag that makes normal people laugh and scroll. And the caption was, "When your family believes in you." I stared at it for a long time. Because I knew what was coming. When my family spends money they don't have, they don't call it debt. They call it Logan. At 2:17 a.m., my phone lit up like a fire alarm. My mom was screaming, crying, hyperventilating. Tanner's in the ER. They hurt him. He needs help. They need a deposit. Send $15,000 right now. Then my dad got on the phone, voice shaking. He's in pain. They won't do everything without money up front. He's asking for you. And my mom hit me with the line I'd been trained to obey. You've always been the strong one. And that's when something in me finally went still. Not angry. Not emotional. Just clear. I asked one question. Why can't you pay it? Silence. Then my mom whispered, "We're broke." And in that moment I realized, they didn't call me because they loved me. They called me because their plan failed. So I said the words that felt illegal in my family. Call your perfect little princess. Then I hung up. I turned my phone off. And I went back to sleep. When I woke up, the sunlight felt different. I didn't wake up with guilt. I woke up with relief. Like my body had been waiting my whole life to exhale. I made coffee. I took a long shower. I cleaned my apartment slowly. Normal things. At 10 a.m., I turned my phone back on. Chaos. Dozens of missed calls. Hundreds of texts. And then I saw it. Skylar had posted a crying video online. My brother is suffering and my sister won't help. She makes good money and she's letting him suffer. She tagged my full name. My city. And people started digging. Strangers flooded my DMs. Some telling me I was evil. Some threatening my job. Some saying they knew where I lived. And I just sat there thinking. They turned my boundary into content. Then the calls started. The casino called first. They asked if I could pay a marker. I said, call his parents. Then the hospital called. They tried to pressure me with policy talk. Deposits. Insurance. We need payment. Not my bill. Not my responsibility. Then came the police call. At 9:01 a.m., Officer Ramirez. He said my brother was now in custody. Assault and fraud. And then he dropped the bomb. Tanner used a counterfeit ID, with my old address, to open credit. And guess who was listed as the emergency contact? Not Skylar. Not my parents. That's when it hit me. This emergency wasn't just a crisis. It was a setup. Because in their minds, I'm not a person. I'm a solution. Later that day my dad called again. His voice sounded older. He finally told the truth. Tanner had been gambling for years. It wasn't one weekend gone wrong. My parents had covered it multiple times. Refinanced. Maxed cards. Took loans. And they believed one big lucky weekend in Tahoe would fix everything. It didn't. And then my dad said the quiet part out loud. Logan, you're the only asset we have left. Asset. Not daughter. Asset. Then he asked me to take out a massive loan. 6 figures. To save the house. To fix Tanner. To save them from consequences. And for the first time in my life, I didn't get dragged under. I opened my balcony door, let the cold air hit my face, and I said, I'm not a bank, Dad. I'm your daughter. He cried. I didn't yell. Just said, you built this. Now you live in it. And I ended the call. The next 7 days were ugly. Burner numbers. Emails. Relatives calling me heartless. Skylar went live daily, crying for donations, saying I abandoned them. A GoFundMe popped up and started growing fast. People love a villain. And Skylar gave them one. My boss emailed me asking what was going on. I replied calmly, family situation. Handling privately. Back in office tomorrow. Because I refused to let their chaos become my career problem too. Eventually, the noise faded. My parents stopped calling. Skylar's post slowed down. People moved on to the next drama. And in the silence, I did something I should have done years ago. I checked my own credit, locked it, changed my number, made my accounts private, and then I moved. New apartment, new routines, new peace. The weirdest part? My phone battery started lasting 2 days. My shoulders relaxed. I slept through the night. No more panic calls. No more guilt. No more emergencies. Just me. And one night, sitting alone with the city lights below my balcony, I realized something. I didn't feel hate. Hate takes energy. I just ran out of anything left to give. If you've ever been the responsible one in your family, the one they call only when they need something, you already know this truth. The moment you stop funding their chaos, they call it betrayal. But it's not betrayal. It's survival. Boundaries aren't cruelty. They're oxygen. They didn't lose me because I said no. They lost me because they never learned to love me without a price tag.